So I'm Daniel Jost. I'm the chair of this working group 3, and I'm assisted by Angelo Rosa, who is co-chair. And for now, during the different meetings that we had, we are something like 20 active members among the members of the Inc. actions that try to put ideas in order to think about what we can do in order to develop big data analysis and tools and modeling tools. So, I mean, the main goal of this work package is to promote this type of tools and data analysis. And we all know that now in 4D nucleome or epigenomics studies, I mean, this type of tools are necessary, or even as mandatory somehow. And so the goal of this work package is really to promote the use of this type of interdisciplinary approach where we can use modeling and data analysis. So regarding the main objectives of this working group, there's 3 big objectives. So the first one is to coordinate the research on data analysis and modeling at the European level and even at a larger scale, if possible. The second objective is to define standards and formats and benchmark for the nucleome community in order to somehow standardize the analysis and modeling of data. And the last objective, which is very important, is to train the young researcher to interdisciplinary research in the field, basically to introduce models to the experimentalist and experiments to the modeler. So really to have this connection, tight connection between the dry and wet research. So in the next, I will describe you some actions that we already did or that we plan to do. And this is basically small actions of micro objectives that are doable and that can make us progress towards these very big objectives. And so regarding the first very big objective of coordinating research, the first action that we start to do is to make a list of the expertise in data analysis and modeling across COST countries, but also around Europe more generally. And the idea of having this list of expertise that will be then integrated in the database that Vladimir showed you before is to basically mobilize the community at the European level, but also to allow people from Inc. or from other countries to find easily expertise and that they need in order to initiate discussions and collaboration. So that could be a very useful tool for the community. The second actions that we start also is to have this coordinated repository of computational tools that also Vladimir was showing you. And the idea is really to centralize all these tools in order to disseminate them across the community and also to facilitate for an experimentalist the choice of the adapted tools for his or her data. And so for that, we have basically 2 way of doing that. So first, a GitHub repository, which is the first step, where basically you can we list all the tools in that GitHub repository, and we also try to classify them in order that it's more easy for people to find basically the task that the tool is doing. And we have this repository on the website that is updated every month or every 2 months by Vladimir based on the GitHub webpage. And so here, for example, what is happening on the webpage here of the Inc. Academy, where you summarize where there is a list of tools, and we try to, as I said, to categorize them into different categories. And so we have high-C generation, high-C analysis, etc. And when you click on one of these tools, then you have a brief description of the tools and how to cite it. So it's very basic, but I think it could be a very nice way of helping people finding the right tools for their data. And so again, if you have this type of tools, if you are producing this type of tools, really do not hesitate to contact us, Vladimir and I, in order to basically add these tools in the database. We really need a few information like the title, the description, the basic description, how to cite your tools, and in which category you will put your tools in this table. So it's very simple. And so the more tools we have, the more powerful will be the database. So regarding the second objective, which is defining standards, one aim in the future would be to initiate discussions on standards like the data format or standardized analysis for a given type of data. And so the idea here is also to organize international workshops or to write white papers, of course, in collaboration with other big consortiums like for the nucleome, in order to basically start to define standards in the field, which I think is very important for the future. A second actions that is, I think, also very important towards this goal is also to illustrate the true value of modeling or statistical modeling or data analysis. So basically to show to experimentalists or to people that are producing data that it's very useful to analyze or to model the data. And so for that, we plan to also organize workshops, but also online focus session where we focus on one given topic, and that experimentalists can easily see the benefits of using this type of model. Another way of illustrating that is to write reviews with the purpose of, having in purpose to convince experimentalists that models or data analysis are very useful for the nucleome project. And finally, regarding this objective 2, I think a very ambitious and very nice action that we started. Actually, it's not it's Benjamin Fishman that started this this initiative, is to define benchmarks and to develop a huge benchmarking study across many modeling tools and data sets in order to have really very efficient tools to test new models, but also to test new data sets. So I encourage you to visit this website. This slide, I think, will be available soon on the website so that you can have access to this. And so if you want to propose some data sets or to propose some tools to Benjamin, I think that could really help him in order to promote this initiative. And in the future also, we would like also to go and to develop into, data challenges and hackathons, again, in order to create benchmarks, but also to test and challenge the different methods that are developed in the consortium. Finally, regarding the last big objective of our working group, which is training young researcher, the first actions that we already started and that we will continue in the future is to organize trainings on computational tools and modeling. So first via the Inc. Academy, and we already had a very nice tutorial by Jonas Paulsen, who is a part of the working group 3. And in the future, we like to pursue this initiative by proposing every 2 months, for example, a tutorial for given tools. And the second type of action is via organizing training school or conference in order for young researchers to learn and acquire these techniques. And so, for example, recently, 10 years ago, and maybe some of you already follow this, we have organized this online school through genomics, which was quite a success. So we need to continue in that direction. And finally, a very powerful action that needs to be also continue is to promote short-term scientific missions and promote the exchanges between dry and wet labs. And we had an example last year, for example, with STSM that go from Peter's lab with experimentalists to my lab, where basically Todor student of Peter learn how to use our models in this particular project, for this particular project. So we need to do more also to promote this type of exchange. And again, the list of expertise that will be on the web page really could help, let's say, a wet lab, for example, to find a dry lab that can help them. And with that, I'm done. So I would be happy if you have any questions. Yes, so Vipin is asking if there is any online platforms to discuss these issues related to the computational analysis of high C. So from the best of my knowledge, I don't think it exists some specific platforms for discussing specifically to this, but actually that could be a nice idea to do it on the GitHub page, for example. And you know, on GitHub, you can add some issue and you can open an issue and initiate some discussion. And so that could clearly be a way, if you have any questions, to discuss on the tools, for example, that are presented on the GitHub database to launch the discussion on something.